On this episode of Eclectic Collecting, we are delving into my military collector's items, and I think it would be poetic because military means war, war means chaos, war means suffering, war means bloodshed. So I wanted to start this off by talking about an item that is really poetic with regards to war. So out of my cabinet, I grabbed my general purpose first aid kit. This particular item is a 12 unit first aid kit. Well, it was supposed to be, but we'll get to that later. This is a Vietnam era one. Very easy to spot because of the contract number that is right here on the back of it. We'll post a quick graphic to explain it really quick, but this one was made in 1967, and the contents inside have been virtually untouched for 50 years, essentially. I have opened it up to take an inventory and just see what was in there, and the items in here, the latest date I found on an item in here was 1971. So all of this is vintage. All of this is accurate to the Vietnam era. But let me tell you this right now. If you were looking to find one of these with all original contents in there, you had better hit the Hunter's lottery right there, because the only way you're going to find this particular item with all of its original contents is if you find a crate full of these in some abandoned military warehouse somewhere. That's the only way you're going to find it. Because with regards to first aid kits, aside from rations and provisions, as well as firearms and ammunition, these were used more than anything else. And if there is any veteran that can, say otherwise, please comment below, because I will absolutely take whatever you say as fact. That, children, is called a primary source. But let's get back to this right now, because as I mentioned before, these were first aid kits. They were pervasive, very common, thus making them very easy to find. You could easily find these because these were the ones that were put on vehicles, on trucks, on Jeeps, ironic considering I own a Jeep. But this is the ones that were in the vehicles, so that you could quickly grab them, whether or not you had a small accident in the motor pool, or if you were on recon, whatever the mission called for, you had a first aid kit really quick. And that is also including the first aid kits that soldiers would keep on them. Interesting little piece right there. Very interesting little piece. But you guys aren't just here to talk about the history. You want to see what's in this thing. So let's go ahead and take a look. Well, here we go, everybody. Let's open this little beauty up. Now, one of the secrets to them being waterproof is the fact that there is a double clamping system. First, you have the general open ones right there, but you also have these little hinges that don't disconnect. These are what make this thing waterproof and make it a little bit more, let's just say, resilient in damper conditions. So right there you can see the beginnings of it, and I will sedate this until I am blue in the gills or green in the gills, whatever you want to call it. I know for a fact these are all not original pieces right here, and I'm just going to speed this up to twice the speed so we can just quickly empty this out and take a look at everything. Now, I do want to re-emphasize something right here. These medical supplies are easily 45, 50 years old. They should not be used. These are definitely expired. So if you get one of these, don't use them. But as you can see, the kit itself is in great condition. The only thing missing from this one is the label on top of the lid. That usually has an inventory manifest and some basic instructions. And we're going to start off with this little box right here to see what was in it. Forgive me, but I'm playing with a new camera setup. This is ammonia ampules right here, commonly known as smelling salts. I have never opened these up because I was afraid that I would break them, but for you guys, I'm going to risk it right here. Let's open this up very gently and take a look at that. And you can see some instructions. I will show them to you in a second. But believe it or not, these are the ampules right here. Very old school. They look like they are metal cages with some plastic around them. And the ammonia inside would be very noxious. Somebody's a little drowsy or unconscious. You would just break these just like that, wave it under their nose. They operate the same way as ammonia ampules do these days, but I think the recipes have gotten a little bit better, and this is completely full. None of them are broken, so that is a complete box right there. No, I will not be breaking one of them open. because I don't know what 50-year-old ammonia smells like, but I imagine it is not pleasant at all. So no, there won't be let me smell that gag right there. Although I I completely forgot to show you guys the instructions right there. That's another thing that I like right here. Clear indication of the instructions. I don't know how old those ampules are. And if anybody can give me an idea, just let me know. All right, now we got the next item that is coming out right there. That one is a first aid eye kit and dressing. This one has, I I can't even read this as far as some of this goes. This is medical stuff. It's bacitracin neomycin. Okay, I think I said that right. But this is basically an eye wash kit right here. And it has the bandage to cover the eye, just in case you either get some shrapnel or some dirt in there. Now, these guys, very easy for me to know what they are. These are some dressings. These are field dressings right there. And they're usually used for some larger wounds right there, big cuts, maybe some shrapnel hits right there, but you got to be careful with certain items. You saw one of them was a little bit open right there. It looked like it was taped shut, but you wouldn't want to use that one. You would discard it. And this is pretty easy to do. You open it up, you unfold it, you place it over the wound, and then you pull it tight, wrap it up really good, and all of a sudden you've got a nice little dressing right there. Good to stop the bleeding right there, but still, you should have your company medic take a look at that really quick. Next item we're going to be looking at is this right here. Now, as any medical professional will tell you, being sterile and making sure everything is clean is absolutely vital. This is a bar of soap. And as unusual as it sounds, a bar of soap in a medical kit is actually a very good idea. As a matter of fact, if you ever get bitten by a snake, it's said you should not suck out the venom. You should just wash it. And for a second there, I thought I would open that up right there, but not a good idea. But yeah, basic treatment for a snake bite, from what I understand, is to clean it with soap and water. And then, of course, elevate it, put a tourniquet on, and you're good to go. And even back then, we had alcohol prep wipes, but personally, based on the packaging as well as the way those look, I think those are later date ones. I don't believe those are absolutely accurate to the era. And let's be perfectly honest, if there's any Vietnam veterans out there, I know Band-Aids were part of a lot of medical kits, but what is this specific to the era? I don't know. I'm going to have to do some further research on this one. But I don't think Band-Aids were in there. Like I said, I honestly think this kit is cobbled together, probably from a multiple usages over the years. This right here is adhesive bandages, and as I mentioned before, this is the latest item I have been able to find. 1971 is the date on there, and this is one of those old school tins where you could physically open them up, and you would easily be able to wrap yourself up, and you would be able to tape it shut and then put it right back in the canister. Little bit of rust right there, so this one has seen better days. And, well, should I open it? I really hope there's no remnants of Agent Orange in here. Ugh! Ugh! Should I smell it? I think I just got a little Agent Orange in there. Now, ugh, that smell lingered for a while. Now, these two vials right here, the best way I can describe them is they are some type of, if I had to guess, it's probably a fancy form of iodine just for disinfecting. I am not even going to try and name what that is, because my sister may be in the medical field, but even I don't know what that says. I'm just sitting here trying to read it and figure out just how to pronounce what this is. And in this kit, there are two vials right here. Very nice looking. Can anybody read? Can anybody read what any of this is? I don't think so because I'm not holding it properly. But if anybody can sound that out for me, it would be really helpful. But either way, let's move on to the next item. Now, this is surprising. We got some razors, some steel razors. which I would absolutely understand the need for these being in a medical kit. You know, you get a splinter, you probably get some shrapnel or some form of debris inside your body. You got to dig it out a little bit. Now, these guys right here, I have no idea what these are. If I had to guess, they're small adhesive bandages, but these have been flattened out so bad, I can't even move them. I tried to squish that really hard. I don't know what those are, but like I said, I think they are small adhesive bandage just for taping some gauze on. And right here we have another camouflage bandage. This one is sealed and it's in its original blue wrapper as well. This one looks like it would be used for just wrapping stuff up or a larger wound of some type. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to open up. And of course, we get two safety pins, perfect for the bandages. And of course, right here, a large piece of gauze doused with Vaseline, petroleum jelly gauze. We all know what that means. It was designed to be packed into a wound, and the Vaseline wouldn't let it stick. Pack it in, wrap it up, get them to a medic. And of course, the last items, I'm not sure if these are military issue, they look like civilian issue, but these are CPR cards right here. So that's the contents of this particular box. It's really cool and really interesting. Like I said before, the only thing missing is the inventory manifest and the instructions that are usually put on that lid right there. And what kept it waterproof was the rubber seal right there. It's an interesting kit and a wonderful item. I'm very happy to have it in my collection. And tell me, do you have any one of these? Let me know. So what do we think of the Vietnam era first aid kit that I have? Well, at Eclectic Collecting, we grade on collectability, value, and rarity. And as far as collectability and value go, this one gets 4 out of 5 stars in both of those categories. It's extremely collectible because it has an interesting story associated with it. And if you're in the medical field, it gives a nice glimpse into the past as far as the basics of first aid technology, as well as the supplies that were available at the time. As far as value goes, this one also gets 4 stars right there because it is extremely affordable. Empty kits you can find for around 40 bucks. And you can find ones that have some cobbled together contents. That'll push it up to about 70, 80 bucks. If you manage to find one that is sealed with all the original contents of it, you found yourself a gold mine right there. But still, collectability and value gets 4 stars. Rarity though, this one gets 2 out of 5 stars. Extremely easy to find. As I mentioned before, empty kits can be found for 40 bucks and you can repurpose them for almost anything and not destroy, a small collector's market type of thing. You can easily buy 2 or 3 of these and repurpose one of them, restore another one, and keep one in original condition. These are the ones where collectors will say, you know what, you found one, you want to keep it original, that's fine. You want to do something with it, that's fine. They're easy to find. So as far as rarity goes, this one gets our lowest rating so far at 2 out of 5 stars. But overall, it's an amazing piece, and I love having it in my collection. And that's going to do it for this edition of Eclectic Collecting. We hope to see you again real soon. We upload shorts every week, and we hope to see you soon. Remember, if you're not collecting eclectic, you're not collecting at all.